All right, hello, welcome back to another episode of taking care of my neglected houseplants. We have a bit to get through today, so we're going to be repotting Monstera Adanonsii. You can see them in a little bit of a different setup. Trying to test out a couple things. I have a table, my potting mat, so we're going to be doing everything here. But yeah, repotting Adanonsii. I have a couple green pepper plants that I need to put into individual pots, and we have a spider plant that I've had for a while, but I'm going to pot into a bigger pot, a hanging pot, and then we'll see where I'm going to put him in the house. But he is getting kind of big. And based off of what I could see underneath, looking to be a little root bound, but we'll kind of see from what we can see. But we'll start with the peppers because that'll take just a couple minutes. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 5 plants. So 1 I'll keep in this, and then the other 4 I'll put into these pots. So let's move this off to the side, and then we'll do this. So to start, we're gonna take these out of here, and we're gonna have to be pretty careful so that we don't rip any of the roots. And then we're gonna have to separate each one of these. So I think that's pretty good. Yeah, there we go. All right, so this one we'll be putting right back into there. We've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3, and 4. All right, so let me grab some soil. Yeah, so I've got this table now. Be a little bit easier to repot things, which is nice. So we'll put some soil in each one of these. A little bit more. Want to make sure there's a little bit of room to grow. Okay, so we'll do that for each one of these. All right, there's our 5 peppers. So that looks pretty good. So we'll set those off to the side. Last thing I'll do with these, I'm gonna take them outside, give them a nice bath, make sure they're watered, and then we'll check back with you guys in a couple months and see where we're at. But I hopefully get a pretty good harvest with these. So with that, we're gonna move these off to the side, and we're gonna move over to the spider plant. We're gonna take a look at that. All right, so the spider plant like I said, it's pretty big. I've had it for a while, so started out pretty small. I have one plant offshoot that I took from it. I just trimmed off a bunch, so we'll see what happens with those. But I might just toss them eventually. We'll see. But we're going to be putting it in this pot. It is a hanging pot, which I will put on a hook somewhere in the house, and hopefully it looks pretty nice. So, I put some bunch of stones in the bottom of underneath the little black tray in there. So what I'm gonna do is first we're gonna take this guy out of the pot and see what we're working with. So we'll give it a nice squeeze. All right, then we'll carefully, as careful as I can be, lift it out. Ooh, yeah, there we go. That is pretty root bound. Not terrible, but it looks good. Nice white, thick roots, which is good. Very nice. So that's actually perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect height. So what we will just have to do is backfill this with some soil. I'm not going to break up the roots at all. And kind of let them do their thing naturally. We'll just backfill this with a bunch of soil. Make sure the leaves don't get under there. We'll kind of break up the soil that's on top. All right, and then I'm going to backfill this, and then we'll see from there. Almost there. All right. I think that's pretty good. pat some of this down. But yeah, I think that is pretty good. That'll be good. That'll be nice. So we'll give this a really good drink of water. Probably take it outside to do that since it's so big. And hopefully it thrives in here. Hopefully in a month or two, I can put the chains on here and hang it up somewhere. But until then, it'll look nice in this new pot. And now for my Monstera. So this guy, we've got roots coming out of the bottom. I had it on this kind of coconut husk pole, which was nice, but we're gonna put it into this terracotta pot and try and make it a little fuller looking, and maybe attach a trellis or something to it in the future. So to start, let's go ahead and take this guy out of here. Okay. So it's not terribly root bound, but the roots are getting there. But we're gonna try and get this. I'm gonna do some trimming, and then we're gonna try and style him so that it looks full in the new pot. But first, we're going to trim off some of this that we don't want or is kind of ugly. So like this one has a yellow spot on it, so we're gonna take him off. There's one or two more. Yeah, here it is. So we'll take this off. You can see it's a little burnt. Well, it looks like it's burnt, but it's all right. That's all right. That's all right. All right. You can see how long this is. So we're gonna try and into this new pot, make it look a little fuller. So to start, I have some tropical potting mix. So we're going to use this as our new potting mix for this. Oof. We're gonna throw some in there. And that is a chunky mix. All right. Okay, so let's see if we can get a little lower to the soil. There we go. Okay, so that's a good start right there. Right? So I had already done some of this, or attempted to before. It didn't really work out the way I wanted it to, which is not the end of the world. So we're going to try and do it this time. What I could do... Nah, we'll try and get this as full as we can. So we're going to... tamp you down a little bit. We're going to bury some of these nodes. Like so. Give us a nice little appearance of leaves coming out of the ground. Okay. Then we're just gonna slowly do the same thing around the pot with these nodes. Right, slowly work our way around. This isn't going to be the prettiest at first. Right, and honestly, what I might do, just kind of shove this in here like that, like so. Kind of like that. And then what we'll do is we'll stick this right in the middle, like that. Just kind of let these, maybe let some aerial roots develop. I wonder if I have anything that I can stamp these down with. I don't think I do. I'll have to take a look and see if I do. But until then, we're just gonna do our best. I might trim some of these leaves off. Yeah, let's do that. So let's, oops. Let's take some of these off. It'll make it a little easier to work with. There we go. That's a lot better. Right? So, like that. And then we'll allow him to start climbing up like this again. And then the back half of this pot isn't going to be too pretty. That's okay, because the way it's going to be facing is this way, which is how I want it anyway. This isn't going to look very pretty anyway, but that's all right. It's not the end of the world. Take some twine, and we'll just tie him off up here. Okay, get that tied off. And what I might do, you see how this one's brand new, so I'm not going to cut that. I might cut this. No, we're not going to do that either. All right. Oh, no wonder that this leaf is being uncooperative. But yeah, so over the coming days, I'll style this a little better. But for now, this is all right. This is all right. There we go. Okay, I think that should be good. I think as more of these roots form, we'll start to stamp more of these nodes into the dirt and see what we can come up with. But I think that's good for now. That looks pretty good as far as I'm concerned. So, to end, we'll give him a nice big drink of water, and that will be that. We got a nice new leaf coming in, which is awesome. But yeah, so next week or so, we'll get some updates on some plants. The jade plant is looking mighty fine. We'll see how this and the spider plant fared in their new pots, and we'll see how my garden's doing, honestly. But I appreciate everyone sticking around, watching. Like and subscribe if you want, and I'll catch you in the next one.